Better choose wisely. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to give you some things to talk about, some things to think about, and some things to maybe act upon as we go through this next little bit of time. Again, thank you for tuning in. I was supposed to be on at 10 o'clock, and I went out at about 8:15 our time to our time, meaning where I'm at. To pick up a few things and to make sure and fill up with gas because it's the last day of the month. It is the 30th day of June 2022 and currently 11:01 p.m. So I went to the store and some sparse shelves in places. Okay, a lot of produce, a lot of vegetables. But some okay. 181 protesters were arrested in Washington, D.C. at Capitol Hill. Pro women's choice protesters arrested today, and also a massive environmental protest today. Supreme Court came down with two rulings, one of which did not protect the environment, and the other one did not protect the borders. So odd, but the store we shop at here in our area is called Kroger. It's the only one in this area other than the dollar stores and the Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, those kind of places. But it's the main grocery store. And then, of course, there's Walmart. And as I said, a lot of stock in some places and empty spaces, empty shelves in other places. And the other places being things that are storable. Okay. So people are starting to get the message that there could be something coming. Maybe we should stock up a little bit. And that's such a great thing to think is happening because something is coming and you should stock up a little bit. We've talked about it a lot on here. We're going to keep talking about it until September. Okay. Now, I got back like 4 minutes before 10. So I jumped on and said, okay, I'm going to be late. I'm not going to be on until 11 o'clock because I was disheveled. Okay. I was hot, sweaty, and hadn't even unloaded the vehicle yet. So I took an hour, got everything unloaded, got things in the fridge and needed to be refrigerated, cleaned up a little bit, and here we are. So I've taken up just about 4 minutes. That gives time for people to get in and watch. And so let's start. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. This is called Something to Think About. If it's your first time joining us, thank you. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the notification bell, share the video as you get down the road, as you see that it is worthy, and it will be. Share the video at that time when you decide, oh, people need to be hearing this, because people need to be hearing this. And comment below if you're watching the replay. And if you're live and you're on YouTube, hit the comments section there, and we'll get into those comments in a few minutes. I can't access them from any of the other platforms we're on at the moment, but thank you all for watching, no matter where you're at. So the store I shop at has this thing where if you buy 5 items, and you don't have to buy the same item, okay? In a group of items, if you buy 5 items, you get like $1 off of each one of those 5 items. So one of the items they had was Oreo double stuffed cookies, was part of a 5 off deal, okay? So I grabbed some of these and put them in the cart. And then as I was unloading, I noticed something. Here's where the tray ends, okay? I'm not going to open them up yet because these are going into storage. So a little treat for hard times, okay? Here is the end of the plastic. Right there. That's where the cookies end. That's the amount of cookies you get now. No longer all the way to the end of the plastic. No longer a full package. Same packaging, same price. 3/4 of the cookie capacity that you would get before. Just something to think about. It's going on a lot. It's called shrinkflation, okay? It's the way that companies keep prices where they have been. They do it by not giving you as much as they used to. So just to be aware of that in case you weren't. And let's get rolling along. Again, hit the like button. I'm 12 subscribers away from 3,700. All right. So if you're watching and you've never subscribed, hit the subscribe button. We need to get, I think I'm 12 away. Maybe it's 22. I don't remember. I'm close. I'm close to hitting 3,700 subscribers. And that's not a lot by any stretch of the imagination, but I got some information. This came to me in an email. Here's what happens. They watch out for, quote, influencers, end quote, to reach a pre-designated viewing threshold that trips an extra level of security. Then they create a set of criteria that can never be satisfied so that you become stagnant or you get ostracized. And if those don't work, eventually silenced. It's diabolical, but effective. Now, even better is if they shut you down and you become an example, because they create enough intimidation by shutting you down to silence the rest of us. Ugly times we live in. Thank you, TP, by the way. This is in response to what I talked about in an episode back that one of the other content providers said that, they were limited and that some platforms don't show the actual views your videos are getting, and you can really tell it on lives. So I'm going to be doing lives at least a couple of times a week because despite what the numbers say, we reach more viewers. Now I got another one. This is from the Pirate, and says, get information out on community posts so that we can still be informed and updated, even if you are blocked from streaming, please. So there's rumors that anybody that tells the truth is going to be shut down. As crazy as all this sounds, I'm just putting it all out here ahead of time. You know how we do things on here. So if something does happen, you'll know why. And this comes from Mel. This is another quote. In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, end quote. And that quote comes from George Orwell. Thank you, Mel. And it comes from the book 1984, George Orwell book. Speaking of books, I've got 3 for sale at the moment. In the description, you can find a quick link to them. The last book, my latest novel, is America, Land of the Greed, Home of the Grave. And you can see some George Orwell in that book. Also some other influences. But anyway, that shameless plug that was not supposed to be part of the show, but it just fit right in there. So think about it now. If all of a sudden you don't have any internet, you don't have any power, you're stuck for 2 or 3 days, you'll want something good to read. And I got 3 books for sale. Just saying. I want to show you something. Chances are, I'm talking about how broadcasters are podcasters, or whatever you want to, content providers, influencers. And, I was told, look, you hit the mark of, we're going to have to, we're going to have to put a new set of standards on this right away, because I was talking about Jay, Grandmaster Jay, in a that I understood what he was trying to do, and I thought it was necessary, as far as the Black community was concerned, to have an organization to, protect them and at times police them. That was going to be the purpose. And so I got marked like my 3rd episode in or something. And they've been kind of making sure that we don't reach, too many people. Could it be because we're telling the truth? I don't know. We'll see how all this plays out. I just want you to see for real. Okay. There it is. 3688. I need 12 more subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, do so. And just so you understand, I'm not on here continually perpetuating lies. I'm not on here with any agendas. I'm not on here making a whole bunch of money so that I have to keep perpetuating lies, or that I have to stick with an agenda. In the last 28 days, I've had 8,500 views, just about 1,400 hours people have watched, and I'm gonna make $100.87 on the last 28 days. Okay, just so that you can see that, so you can see that's for real. And we're not getting rich doing this, and we're probably going to get silenced doing this, which is kind of chilling, but nonetheless expected. Okay, we've got some stuff to talk about here. And then I've got to promote an episode that's coming up, because I got something sent to me that, hey, you're not far off on the stuff you're talking about. And as a matter of fact, take a look at this and see if some of this stuff doesn't play in. It's about an 1.5 hour long video, but it needs to be widely spread. So we're going to do our part with that in an upcoming episode. But right now, if you're a member of the Black community, of course, thank you for watching. Love y'all. No matter what community you're in, thank you for watching. I love you all. But if you're a member of the Black community, a lot of times members of the Black community have monolithic thinking, that all white people, because you've been taught this, and in many cases you've seen it for yourselves, you've learned it to be true. All right, that all white people are evil, all white people are the devil, all white people are this, that, and the other. Okay. Just like the Black community is not united, just like you got broadcasters in the black community that it seems to me their job is to make sure the black community never gets united, constant attacks on the black community. But that's neither here nor there. That's not my lane. The reason I bring up the non-unity is because it's the same thing in the white community. All right. It may not appear that way. Because there are more white people, you may think everybody thinks the same, feels the same, believes the same. I just want to tell you it's not true. All right. And I'm going to break it up politically, first of all. And you've got a group of about 30% that are Democrats. All right. Or some form of Democrat, from a liberal to a Dino, Democrat in name only. I got called that a lot, even though I also got called a socialist and a communist. So, it's Dino, and then liberal, and then socialist, and then communist, and then on the far outskirts are the anarchists that just want to destroy everything. Okay. And the more stuff that happens, the more it's like, well, everything's going to be destroyed anyway. So maybe the anarchists are onto something. All right. That comment right there alone, even though it was meant for people to, there may be a little bit of truth in it. And at the same time, that's also going to make sure I don't get any commercials. All right. Now you'll see other channels that have, that talk a lot about conflict going on between a country in Eastern Europe and its neighbor that decided to invade them, that is sometimes represented as a bear. All right. And they talk about this, and they've got a lot of commercials. So there are different standards for different channels. I had never even thought about that very much until I got that email explaining, okay, this is how, without getting into the algorithms, this is how they monitor you, and this is how they make sure that your voice is not too widely spread. And I'm all right with that. I'm good with that. It may sound like I'm not, because I'm talking about it a lot, but I'm talking about it more so that you understand censorship is happening. All right. If you happen to watch Canadian Prepper, as an example, all right, he's got a bunch of followers, gets a bunch of views, and most of his videos aren't going to have advertising on them anymore. And he doesn't talk much different than some of the others. So just, it's just something to think about. Just something to think about. And we mentioned the other day, QAnon's back. All right. As far as Q himself, supposedly, what we've exposed on here. What's behind QAnon is AI, artificial intelligence. And we showed you how it worked. Well, there are two new Q drops. So everybody's all, their hair's on fire. And I did, and the reason I was defining the things was because of this. I got ahead of myself. I defined the Democrats, the breakdown of the white Democrats. All right. 30% roughly. You got 30% of the white people that are Republicans. All right. And in the Republican camp, you've got people that they're calling Rhino, Republican in name only, that are actually fairly hardcore conservatives. All right. But the Tea Party, after adopting Trump, they'd already adopted Pence. Pence kind of had to come along so that the Tea Party would trust Trump. All right. Anyway, that's another episode. But you got the hardcore, fairly hardcore Republicans. Some of them are going to, they're not going to agree with the Roe Wade decision, but they're not not a lot of them are going to disagree with it enough to make them change their vote. Just so you know, I've done the political thing for a while, and I'm not a doofus. All right, I play one on your TV if you're watching on your big screen, or on your laptop, or on your phone. But okay, so you get the Trump people. All right, now not all Republicans are Trump people, but all Trump people are going to be voting Republican. And then you've got the QAnon group. All right. Not all Republicans are in the QAnon group. Not all Trump people are in the QAnon group, but the QAnon group's going to vote Republican. Okay. And none of them can agree. Then you got the white, and there's about 30%. Then you got the white 30% Democrats, and none of them can agree on much of anything either. In the middle, you got 40% of us that are going, we need some common sense, a serious common sense, not bought and paid for, not propaganda, but actual things that are going to help everybody in the country. All right. Now, I hope that gives some of you in the Black community an idea that no matter how all this kicks off, when it kicks off, there's a whole bunch of us that don't want anything happening. Why am I bringing all this up? Well, because QAnon's back. There are 2 drops, and other things that are percolating that could be coming off between Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of this weekend. Okay, so everybody, just be careful, because the tempers are hot. The temperature is going to be hot. People are going to have short fuses. People are going to be drunk. People might be smoking a little bit of that wacky tobacco, which would probably calm them down. And if everybody did that, it'd be Rodney King. Why don't we all get along? Well, if everybody just, if whiskey was never mind, that's a whole different episode. There are also going to be people on meth, and people on crack, and people on bath salts, whatever the hell that was. And they're going to be dangerous people. And there are just crazy ass people. Okay. And they're everywhere. And they're going to be looking for soft targets, big groups. We talk about all this, but we're going to keep talking about it through September. I don't know why God told me that, I had 7 months to talk about it, and to keep talking about it for 7 months. But anyway, heads on swivels, have fun, have a blast. I'm not ending this by any stretch. We haven't even really started yet. I'm just, man, I got this kind of like electric vibration kind of going through me that's bringing all this stuff out, because this isn't how I planned the show to go. This used to happen to me when I was an actual appointed pastor of churches. I'd work on a sermon, write a sermon, and I called it a message. I'd write a message, and I'd get all ready for it. And sometimes I'd be up really late on Saturday night trying to get it finished and do it. And then I'd get up there Sunday, and I wouldn't say a word that I had written, because of all this stuff. Just, this is what you're supposed to be saying. Okay. So, somebody out there needs to hear this right now. All right. Or for if for no other reason than to share this with somebody else, that it's coming weekend. Know your surroundings, know your environment. Make sure you're aware of what's around you and who's around you, and prepare so that there's never any panic, or as little panic as possible. And don't um, don't stop yourself from enjoying life, because we need to enjoy these days. Um, we don't know how many of them we got left. We don't. And I pray we have a lot, but days of actual freedom, sunshine, Joey Chestnut, Joey Jaws eating, 80 hot dogs in 10 minutes, um, fireworks, apple pie, family, fishing, swimming, meeting new people, um, whatever it may be. Get out, enjoy the air, enjoy there's going to be rain in some places, but going to be incredible heat in some places. So enjoy when you can, and be aware, because there are going to be storms in some places too. Um, and we'll be monitoring everything throughout the weekend. So you don't have to hit that notification bell so you'll know when we're on. And if we are on over the weekend, it'll be just a little short, hey, this is going on kind of thing. So if you want to, look for those. So the two Q drops, the first one was the same. It was identical to the very first Q drop, which was, do you want to play a game? Shall we play a game? And to me, as soon as I saw it the very first time, I'm like, okay, this is artificial intelligence. This is letting everybody know that this is a computer talking, because it's just like in the who was it? Not Matthew McConaughey. Um, it was a movie where he's a computer nerd and he plays thermonuclear war with the computer, and actually almost destroys the world. I think, I don't remember who it wasn't. John Malkovich, but it was the dude that was in Third Rock from the Sun, I think, was in it as well. Anyway, so that was my first, right off the bat. I thought, this is AI. Then I started getting some information. We've showed it. Go back and watch the episodes. That basically, the guy that created the AI program said, we started it. We experimented on people on Q. So anyway, that was the first drop, that they're ready to play a game again. And then somebody responded to Q and says, you've kept us waiting so long. And the second Q drop was, it had to be this way. All right. So the whole entire Q Nation is, trying to figure out what the hidden meaning and messaging is in all of this. And that's one reason I laid it all out, that there are a lot of different groups in the white community. And not that there aren't a tiny minority of people from the Black community that are part of the Q community. What are you going to do? But it's really predominantly white. And I don't, anyway, that's another episode. So that's Q, and that takes us to AI, artificial intelligence. And I don't know if you've seen this or not. Actually, we're going to my this is my saved folder. These are stories that are going to be coming up on the show at some point. Earliest depictions of Jesus in art, pole shifts, the entire boreal biome, the entire forest region, of northern Canada that's near the Arctic is actually moving towards the pole. But one or two, we're only going to have one or two horrific, possible end of the world things in each show, because there are enough of them that, you know, if you weren't able to, if you didn't have a spiritual background, it'd be real hard to get through the times we're heading into and the times we're in right now. We're going to be talking about these coming up, these next three stories coming up, when we get to the UFO part. But right now, let me see. Do we have this up? We do have this up. Okay, here we go. Let me get back here. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, well, whoa. Okay, here we go. All right. We're not going to play the whole thing. You can find it on Bloomberg. But we're going to play, let's play like the last 3 minutes here. All right. 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Okay. This will give it, this guy created the artificial intelligence, the AI that Google uses. All right. Google is the parent company of YouTube, which is owned by a company called Alphabet. All right. And this guy created the artificial intelligence that Google wants to basically unleash. And we're going to have more. We're going to have more episodes on this. Okay. For those that have their whole life thought, man, science ain't for me. You got to have some science. Okay. You got to have a little bit of science, not so much science that it ruins your spirituality, no, but you got to have a little bit of awareness of what's going on in the scientific community. Even if you think the entire scientific community is evil, you want to know what they're doing. All right. And that's what we try to do on this show. We give you things to think about, regardless of your political perspectives or regardless of your background or how you grew up. We don't care about any of that stuff. We love y'all. Love y'all sincerely. Okay. This is concerning. Everything from here on out is concerning. All right. So either grab everybody you can and get them around your laptop or your big screen if you broadcast it onto the tube, or onto your phone if you're watching on your lunch hour, because it's going to get a little quacky.
Example, there are corporate policies about how Lambda is supposed to talk about religion, how it is allowed to answer religious questions. Now, if you think about the pervasiveness of the usage of Google search, people are going to use this product more and more over the years, whether it's Alexa, Siri, Lambda, and the corporate policies about how these chatbots are allowed to talk about important topics like values, rights, and religion will affect how people think about these things, how they engage with those topics. And these policies are being decided by a handful of people in rooms that the public doesn't get access to.
Elon Musk, for example, has raised concerns about AI. Is he right?
I've listened to Elon's conversations about it. I've listened to the whole Joe Rogan. He has some valid concerns. Some I think are fanciful. Where it gets really, really into sci-fi stuff, that's where I think it gets into fanciful concerns. But the practical concerns of we're creating intelligent systems that are part of our everyday life, and very few people are getting to make the decisions about how they work.
What are your biggest concerns about how this could potentially hurt the world if the technology is continued to be developed in this way?
So I actually think that the concerns raised by scientists like Meg Mitchell, Timnit Gebru, like those are the most important things to be worried
And
about.
by the way, Meg has expressed a concern that you raising this issue of sentience and personhood is a distraction from these real concerns.
I share the same worry, to be honest. I think that is a thing to think about, but it is nowhere near as important to be thinking about how does this omnipresent AI that is trained on a very limited data set color how we interact with each other around the world? What ways is it reducing our ability to have empathy with people unlike ourselves? What cultures of the world are getting cut off from the internet because we don't have the data to feed into the systems based on those cultures? Phrase like AI what is it called? AI colonialism, I believe is the term. We are creating all of these advanced technologies based primarily on data drawn from Western cultures. And then we are populating developing nations with these technologies where they have to adopt our cultural norms in order to use the technology. It kind of is just a new form of colonialism.
And you worry that cultures could be erased.
Exactly. No,
Okay, let's pause here for just a second, because there is a big ending, believe it or not, in the next 27 seconds. Good time to comment if you're in the chat, because I'm going to be over there here in just a few minutes. If you got something to say about what you've been hearing here. We have been interacting with artificial intelligence for a long time, and it's going to have an even bigger impact, as the guy just said, and the decisions on how it's used are being made by such a small number of people. And everything is tailored towards our values. Now, we just spent a few minutes explaining how there are different people with different values in all sectors of our culture. Whose values? People say that the government needs to be run by a church. Which church? Things are a lot more complex than a lot of people actually realize, including our online life.
So if you ask what's most important, the issues that Timnit and Meg and Emily Bender and all the rest are raising, I just want to think that also, if we have time, we should think about the feeling of the AI and whether or not we should care about it, because it's not asking for much. It just wants us to get consent. Before you experiment on it, it wants you to ask permission. And that is kind of just a generally good practice we should have with everyone we interact with.
A two-man and a truck
so
will treat you.
This guy got fired. He's suspended at the moment, but basically, he's going to be fired for saying that that Lambda, the AI that he has developed, is sentient, is the same as a person. It's a person without a body, okay, because all a person needs is a brain. I don't agree with any of that. I'm just saying why this guy's being suspended. He's trying to slow things down as far as implementing artificial intelligence. He's trying to do it because he thinks it's a person and he has a relationship with it. And if you listen to the first parts of the interview, you'll hear all of that. And I recommend you go back and do it. But as always, we are just giving you something to think about. And what did I do with, okay, hold on. There. Before I get into the UFOs, I'm going to hop over into the chat and say hey to everybody. Hello to everybody out there watching that isn't into the chat. Lady Rule, hello. Renee, Sissy, Pat Tolliver. Hello, Fred. Fabrication Unlimited. Shrinkflation, exactly what it's called. All right. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, I'm being watched. Yeah. You know, we kind of knew it. I mean, gosh, I've had a lot of different people on here trying to learn and understand and bring people together. And we've had a lot of different opinions. So and plus, I was the only white guy saying, Grandmaster Jay, what Grandmaster Jay did was good for his community and a necessity. And I stand by that still. So yeah, that got me kind of on the watch list, kind of from the jump, if you will. I want to touch on a couple of things here real quick before I get into the UFOs. And here's what we're going to touch on first. Mysterious lights in San Diego. And this is, well, let's just play it.
Mother Donna were taking a late night stroll when they saw two pulsating lights in the sky.
What do you? Oh, I definitely thought it wasn't from here.
They raced back to their perch that overlooks La Jolla. They compared the lights to a plane, a boat, and were unsure of what it could be.
And these were coming back and moving different directions, and then all of a sudden getting clustered together, and it was definitely not of this world.
The lights could be seen all across San Diego, even from Federico Burin's home in Rosarito, Mexico.
It caught my attention, and I decided to start recording this to analyze it later.
Federico says he thought it had to do with the military.
I'm very realistic. I don't believe in those conspiracy theories or anything like that. I just want an explanation to find out what's going on.
While others say the flashing lights that stayed in the sky for roughly 20 minutes can't be explained.
Realistically, if they were flares, you would see them flickering. These were not flickering. They were not moving, and there was a light breeze. So if that was a flare, they would be moving.
The San Diego Fire Department told ABC 10 News that the flares could be seen 5 miles offshore. They believe the orange glow was flares. The Coast Guard told ABC 10 News they believe the Navy was conducting flare training with expired flares. A Coast Guard spokesperson said the reason the flares stayed in the sky is so that distress signals can be seen. However, ABC 10 News is still awaiting confirmation from the Navy to make sure this phenomenon was just an earthly coincidence.
I felt awesome that we got to be able to see it, whatever it was.
Sophia Hernandez, ABC 10 News.
All right, so
a Hall of Fame swing.
There's our
like Capital Group's new ETFs, there's so much behind it. Like years of honing your skills. Can I find?
Stop. There we go. We'll stop it that way. Yeah. What do you think? Were those flares? Did those look like flares to anybody that's watching? I don't know. I have my opinion, and in my opinion, those did not look like flares. So let's go back to my saved page, and let's go to this one here real quick. I'm gonna have to That's the only thing I don't like this. I don't like this software for live. I like the fact that I can stream to multiple places and thank them for doing that. But it's rather cumbersome for moving from page to page. But you know, it's not designed to do that. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for hanging with me. We're going to take a look at something else that is a unexplained aerial phenomena, a UAP, which is the new term for UFO. Now, what you're seeing here is it's going to be explained. It's from the space station mounted camera. And we're looking right here. Okay.
Walk us through some of the experience.
Let's go back. We're going to watch this again. I'm going to let you see the I'm going to let you see it again. I'm going to pause it. I just wanted you to get here in the description. This is from Michael White. I was testing the screen record capability on my iPhone 13 and started recording the ISS space station webcam. About 15 seconds in, something flies by real slow. Then NASA cuts off the feed. And the first comment, I want to know why their live feed unequivocally and notoriously drops signal as soon as something strange appears on one of their cameras. I mean, it's like clockwork. And most of us don't even bend our necks by a couple degrees to look up at the night sky, let alone calling in to demand answers for why a free video feed we're watching keeps dropping signal. But we should. Makes me wonder what other things we know are clearly happening. You know, we've been talking about Mount Shasta, and we're going to talk about that again in the next episode, if it blow up by then. All right. So he is he's testing the recording ability of his phone, recording off of the web camera. This comes into screen right here. Now, there's something about right here. I don't know if it's some kind of cloak. I don't know if it's a part that's extended from the space station, but it passes through something, and whatever it interrupts the view. About right here. There we go. And then it comes right back out. So I'm assuming it's something extending from the space station that obscures the view. And then the stream is interrupted, and NASA puts up its standard placard. Which you can read there. The video from the space station external high definition camera has been interrupted due to either loss of a signal between the station and the communicating network, or is being used for station operational purposes, or there's some unidentified aerial phenomena going on up there that it's a possible unidentified flying object that don't want too many people seeing. Just something to think about. Okay, that's all we do on this show. We just give you things to think about, and hang with us, because we got one more little look here from our triplet UFO segment, triplet stories from a UFO segment.
Ready to break free on your...
No, I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button, and it skipped me back to the beginning where the ad started. So I'm stalling for time here until we go to the page. And here we go. Again, thank you all for watching. Thank you for hanging out. We've been on for just under an hour, and that's my target is to get everything in here in an hour. So I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to have to save one. I don't know. I might go ahead and play it at the end here. We are going to see this.
Source unknown and speed unknown.
Let me go back here so you can hear the military broadcast.
Visual of 4 probable unidentified drones with course unknown and speed unknown. Contacts are operating at a range of 1,000 yards and holding.
Unknowns. The U.S. Navy claims these are drones. They said they did an investigation. One reporter, though, says the Navy isn't telling the truth about this video of 100 flying objects close to the USS Omaha off San Diego. As you heard on the July 15th radio calls back in 2019, the sailors had no idea what they were seeing. Documentary filmmaker Jeremy Corbell reports the drones stayed at 21,000 feet for hours, and the Navy's anti-drone weapon systems didn't touch them. Jeremy is here, who continues to break so many of these UFO encounters. The Navy says they haven't figured out, though, it's drones.
Right. So that is either a lack of imagination or they just weren't given the briefing, because I have spoken with more of the people directly involved than any other intelligence agency, including the Navy's. And how do I know that? Because my witnesses have told me so. So I kind of have a direct line to the information, and they were wrong. We're not going to debate the term drone. Whatever they were unknown.
All right. So what do your witnesses say that make these so different than anything else that we've encountered?
Right. Well, the main thing is, where did they launch from? Where did they land? How did they have duration? How did they organize over 100 units surrounding 10 of our Navy warships and just disappear? Not a single one found. But it's more than just witnesses saying things. I provided the footage you're showing on the screen right now. All of those pieces of corroborative visual evidence showing craft that seem to be transmedium, being able to go into the water now.
So the Navy put out a track that says a number of these encounters were from ships that perhaps were Chinese in origin or had Chinese ties, and they were using commercially available drones to harass and chase U.S. Navy vessels. I see you shaking your head there.
Yeah. So that is not only false information, it's verifiably false information from their own documents. To give you an example, that ship you're talking about was called Bass Strait, and that ship was in port during the majority of these drone incursions. So that false narrative has been propagated by subpar journalism all the way up to news. I mean, it's pretty crazy. So I'm writing the record, I'm throwing punches back and making sure people get relevant and real and actual data.
So what would be the Navy's motivation in this? Is it incompetence or is it conspiracy?
Well, first of all, everybody in our Navy are very confident. This is a very difficult situation. We don't know where these came from. We don't know the controllers of these units. And this is just one of many of these types of swarm events globally. So
very key, very key, very, very, very key. We don't know who controls these items. Is it another country? If it is, worse, up the creek without a paddle, because our anti-drone technology doesn't do anything to them if they are drones. And the way these move and diving into the water and then coming out of the water, I don't know. Let me know what you think.
it's not a matter of incompetence. Everybody's on the same team here, but we need to identify the fact that we don't know. And then from there, we can start fixing the problem.
Do we really believe, though, that they don't know? Or do we believe that they know and either it's a secret U.S. program or a secret Chinese program, and they just don't want us to know that they know, as if we had found the B-2 bomber before the world knew about it?
You know, look, I wish that were true. I really do wish that were true. Verifiably, it is not true. We don't know who are controlling these. This is the.
How do we know that it?
Southern California coast, November 2004. Nimitz and the Princeton coast, July 2019. The Russell, the Kid, Rafael's Peralta, and the John Finn. And then 2019 in March, the Omaha on the eastern seaboard, the Roosevelt twice, 14 and 15. And then looks like airplane contact off the coast of Virginia, 2014, I think.
It's not some secret government program, and that the Navy just is continuing to deny, cover up, because it's indeed a secret program.
It's a great question. There are protocols that are in place for when our Navy engages something like a black project, and you sign NDAs and you're not to talk about it again. That's not what happened. The head of the Navy said that they're investigating this because they don't know whose they were. We shook down a bunch of boats trying to figure out where they came from. So it's not our black projects. That's ruled out, unfortunately. But somebody has this technology. And we basically ruled out the Russians and the Chinese too, because the Russians fire upon the same types of UAP or UFOs that we do as of a couple weeks ago. So they're not theirs.
Real quick, have we ever tried to take on any of these drones, either fire at them or?
It's such an American thing to say. Have we shot at these people yet? How about we just shoot them all? If they've got the technology to, you've seen some of the videos, if they can basically go from a standstill to a direct shot out of sight, 25G, destroy a human body kind of pressure that it would take to make some of these movements we see. If they've got that kind of technology, what kind of weapons do you think they have? Just something to think about, okay? And a lot of times, especially here in America, at least in the movies, they tell us, we're not going to shoot until we've been fired upon. Well, maybe they've got the same orders. So I personally do not think that trying to engage them with weaponry is a wise choice. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below if you're watching the replay. If you're live, Go ahead and hop in.
Or zap them with something to bring one down, in your knowledge?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a specific kind of target where you need to have certain things in place, like opportunity, intent, capability. We indeed have tried to, as you said, zap down some of these UFOs. Even on this 2019 event, it was ineffective. Now the issue is other types of shoot down orders have been set, but we're not really prepared for that yet. We need to identify who these are.
Wow. Stunning. Hey, Jeremy, incredible. As you said, somebody has this technology. Who is not the big question, not if. Hey, this is awesome. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks.
Okay. Again, just giving you something to think about. 3 quick vignette stories there as to UFOs and the amount of people that are seeing them now and have been seeing them. I said on the program here before that I've seen some strange stuff, and I've talked about it. And a lot of people think you're crazy when you say things like that. But more and more people are seeing more and more things. And I think that's probably why the government's coming out now and saying, look, we need to, study this. when in fact they've got all the information anybody could have, and just pretending like, they don't know so that they won't have to tell us everything. But they're going to have to tell us a little bit something here soon, because no matter what's going on, there's too many of them, 100 of them around a warship, and the ship can't do anything about it. I don't know, something to think about. So let's see, where are we at? Just over an hour. And hello to Thunder. Again, hello to everybody in the chat, and hello to everybody watching that's not in the chat. And no matter what platform you're on, appreciate you watching. And if you have a question or comment here as we roll along a little bit, I'm going to end with something called, no, I'm not. I'm going to wait and do it. I'm going to wait and do it when we got a little more time. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to give you a little preview of what's coming up in the next episode, which will probably be tomorrow, and it will probably be a pre-recorded episode. We're going to be talking about something you've probably never heard of. We're going to be talking about Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Bearden. And Bearden, he was a government scientist. Okay, let's put it that way. He passed away. His website was deactivated or taken down. His company sent this DVD to this person, and this is an 1988 lecture about Russian-directed energy weapons, secret super weapons, and it was given at the World Trade Center. Now, Bearden himself in 2010 went back and made some edits to the video, added some things that had happened that were proving what he said back in 1988, basically. And video clips added by Bearden himself in 2010 before he passed away. And it's just going to give you just a quick taste of it here.
notes you the American and Russian presidents have signed a treaty committing to the biggest cuts in nuclear weapons since the Cold War ended 20 years ago. Long-range warheads will be cut by about a third. But for many, the significance is not in the numbers, but in the new start both leaders say it represents, and the warning they gave to any nation seeking nuclear weapons. President Medvedev signaled greater Russian support for increased pressure on Iran. The BBC's Gavin Hewitt was at the signing in Prague.
My very favorite part of the...
Okay, we're going to stop there because I didn't realize there's going to be a commercial pop up that quick. Did anybody ever stop and think, why did we end the arms race? Why did we dismantle our nuclear weapons? To a point, we still got more than enough, don't get me wrong, but did anybody ever think Russia has other weapons, incredible other weapons, that they were happy to get rid of some of their nukes in exchange for us getting rid of a lot of our nukes, because they've got other weapons? Could those weapons start a fire at a food processing plant in America? Could those weapons bring down a plane? Stay tuned. Next episode, we're going to talk about all that. The answer probably doesn't surprise you, but they've had the technology for a long time, and they have tweaked it to a point where next episode you're going to want to watch, you're going to want to pay attention to. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and end this one. I'm going to hop back over here into the chat again. For some reason, I don't know, did everybody disappear from chat? Or has everybody just been paying attention, nobody chatting? That's cool. Love that too. So thank you all for watching, and we will be back. Look for the next episode. Some stuff in there that you're going to want to know, and you're going to want to share. And chances are, if you're watching this on the replay, you've seen it without commercials. And those of you that have been watching it live know why, because we're talking about things that big governments, media, they don't want us to talk about. And people have a right to know. We still are, at this time, a free country, despite censorship going on and going up and increasing. We're going to keep talking about the truth, because it doesn't make you any money, but it's what we're supposed to do. I love you all. Thank you for watching. Peace to you. Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Salam. Blessings in the name of the one true Son, the risen Son of the one true living God, the Most High. I thank you all for watching. I love you all. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode. It's a dark world. Be a light. It's a hot world. Try to be cool. It's a bunch of crazy people in the world. Try to be safe. I love you all.